Here we go.
Ooh.
Wholesale hotline number 50, Jamil.
5-0, baby, 5-0.
I'm just telling you with this, it took us 50 episodes, guys, but Jamil finally has a professional microphone. So here we go.
Hi.
Everybody give him some love because it took some time, but here we go. Guys, listen, this is going to be an incredible show because this show is all about, we're going to really break this thing down. We're going to show you how to get your first deal. We're going to answer all your questions around getting your first deal. I'm very curious how much of the audience has not done one deal, or if you want to add an extra deal, but I'm really curious to know how many people have not yet done a deal, because we want to change that. We want to change that. And you know what I think destroys it, Jamil? I think the 3Ds. The 3Ds is a big challenge when we're starting out in our wholesaling business, and that is doubt, disappointment, and distraction. So Pace is on. He is ready. He had a little bit of technical difficulties, but he is rocking now. So, Pace, you're going to be very happy with Jamil's new microphone.
Oh, he knows about it. He came to my house and set it up.
What do you think, Pace?
I love it. I wanted to make sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound fantastic. A little dark, but you sound fantastic.
Let me fix it. Anyway, I was thinking about all the people on the podcast because I was in my yard on Sunday doing a couple of things, and I was listening to somebody else's YouTube video, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's probably hundreds of people that are listening to Wholesale Hotline just on the recording, and the audio needs to be way better. So Jamil is usually the one that says the most magical stuff because he is the blue genie. And so I just wanted to make sure his audio was solid.
We're rocking now. It took us a year, but we're rocking now. We are committed, guys.
You guys, let's just be honest, right? I'm not a technical guy. I'm not. And this is testament to all the old heads that are in the comments right now, or anybody else that's watching and feels that this business is for the young cats that are high-level technical wizards that are doing all this amazing stuff on the internet, creating all of these systems. No, it's not. Okay, here's a guy who wouldn't even know how to set up a microphone so that I could sound better on this. But I was able to crush the business by being a human being and not a computer, right? And so, yes, this was 50 weeks in the making, but I want to say that I didn't have a microphone on purpose, just to really test our audience that how much do they really love us, that they had to sit there and listen to me through my computer microphone for 50 episodes. But now I'm going to give you my real voice.
He's going to get it now. No, I really want to open this up, guys, because before we get into the techniques and the strategies and how to go about getting your first deal and where deals come from and how do you generate leads and convert them and then sell that off, I think it's really important that we start here. Right? We start with our mindset, and we start with those three things that destroy us, which is doubt, disappointment, and distraction. So if you don't mind, it's perfect because there's three of us and there's 3 Ds. So I'll take doubt. Jamil, you take disappointment. Pace, you take distraction. All right?
Yes, I was hoping I was going to get that.
Okay, so let me start with this. This is a doubt, and this is something that I think is really, really, really important. And this is from doing over 150 interviews with brand new students after they've done their first deal on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. We really feature people that have done their first deal. And a common thread that went through all of them was, I was really afraid before I took action. When I took action, I felt fine. When I was on the phone, or when I was door knocking, or when I was driving for dollars, or when I was doing the things, I felt fine. But it was like all the thoughts of all the times that I've failed before, and the other businesses that I had started or talked about, and all the excitement that I've had in previous life. Listen to me. You have to have a short memory. You got to get rid of all of that things. We need to be looking forward. You've got the path. You've got the runway. You know, without a doubt, I think everybody that listens to this, whether it's on the audio, or through the podcast, or watching this on YouTube, understands one thing. And that is, if they have enough quality conversations with distressed property owners, they will win. You will be successful. You will find the opportunity. And all it takes is that first one. You knock out that first one, you are in the land of this is real. This is proven. I can do this. Let's repeat it again. So what I'll say about doubt always creeps in when we are bored. Doubt always creeps in when we're not taking action. Doubt always creeps in when we look at somebody that has done it and as an example, and we say, I can't do it because they're tall, because they're handsome, because she's beautiful. Oh, it's because of their market. It's because of their coaching. It's because of this, this, and this. Knock it off right now. The doubt creeps in because you're not taking enough action. That's why we talk about taking teeny tiny little steps, little teeny tiny wins every single day that stacks up to the big win, which is you being successful and getting a wholesale deal done or a flip done or a real estate, buying your first house, or whatever it is, whatever your real estate goal is, it all comes down to taking action. I'm telling you, when you are in action, your doubt absolutely evaporates. So that's my little spiel. Jamil, you were up with disappointment. How do we lessen disappointment, or how do we deal with disappointment?
Well, disappointment is a funny thing, right? Because I believe that it's 100% attached to entitlement. What the F are you disappointed about, right? What are you disappointed about? Are you disappointed because the seller said no, or the seller wouldn't come to your price? Are you disappointed because you locked up the deal too high because you didn't follow through on understanding value and check your comps? Are you disappointed because your buyer fell out and that's because you didn't make them put down a high enough EMD to keep them committed to the deal? They went and found another one and bought something else and stiffed you. Are you disappointed because everything in your life should be easy? Are you disappointed because you weren't born the Queen of England? Are you disappointed because Pace has a nicer microphone than me? What are you disappointed about? Right? What's the disappointment? The disappointment is legitimately comparing yourself to an imaginary yardstick, an imaginary measuring post. And I'll tell you that comparison is going to be the thief of joy 100% of the time. 100% of the time. You are never going to be in a life where you are perfect. We're human beings. We eat and poop that food out in 4 hours, right? We're just like physical people. None of us are magical, we're not God. But the facts is that we have the spark of God within us, so we can all be limitless. We can all do whatever we want. And yes, you've got to be tried. Yes, you've got to get tested. Yes, you've got to overcome obstacles. If you didn't, they put Jesus on a cross. Okay? Like, why do you think your life should be so damn easy? That's the thing. You got to get over the disappointment of everything not going your way. It's not supposed to be that way. Nothing good comes easy. You have to fight for it. You literally have to fight for it like your life depends on it. And then you've proven to the world, then you've proven to yourself, then you've proven to every obstacle that you transcend, that you are greater than that, and you are owed your just desserts at that point. But up until that point, disappointment is for the weak. You got to let that go. That entitlement stuff is not going to play here. Sorry.
Love it. Pace?
I love that too. I went back into, so in my sub 2 mentorship, I created, series of videos we call them modules. And I went back and I created a week 0 after having my mentorship out for like 6 months. I went back and I created a week 0, and I really wanted to focus on that one word that Jamil just focused on, which was disappointment. And I told people that they're not allowed to even use that word in our mentorship. You're not allowed to use that word. That's a weak word from a weak-minded person. You don't use that word like, oh, I'm discouraged. I'm disappointed. It's like, you're disappointed in what? That you're alive and you're like you're breathing and everything's like, there's people with way worse situations. Think about this. Like, I looked at, when I was coming up in the game, I'd look at these guys, a lot of TTP students, in fact, are super young. When I was first jumping into TTP, I'm a TTP alumni. And I'm looking at these guys like 20, 21, 22. I did not compare myself to them. I just told them flat out, I go, you're very, very lucky. Like, you're beyond lucky that you figured out what wholesale is before you're in your 30s, right? A lot of other people are learning about it in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. So do those people have the ability to be disappointed or discouraged or whatever, disappointed that they found out about it 20 years later than everybody else? No, because the fact is they're still alive and they still figured it out. It is the best business on planet Earth. I absolutely have no doubt in my mind. So I love both of those points. And I'm so lucky that you gave me my D, which is distraction is what you call it. Okay, so I'm doing this little micro challenge, okay, with some of my students. It's called the Squirrel Challenge. Because last week we had one of my students in one of our Zooms we were doing, she said, I just feel like I'm just all over the place and I need help. I'm brand new. I need help. I go, great. So you feel like a squirrel. You feel like every time you see a shiny object, you see something on YouTube, you see somebody's Instagram, you see somebody's TikTok, and you're like, oh, that's what I should be doing. Oh, that's what I should be doing. So I said, the reason you feel lost is because you don't have forward momentum in your business. Okay. Forward momentum in your business. So Jamil posted something a couple of years ago. He probably doesn't even remember he posted this, but it hit me. Like, it hurt me. Actually, it was like 3 years ago when Jamil was just starting on Instagram, like pretty heavy. And the post was this. It said, it's better to crawl the right direction than to run the wrong direction. And so it hit me and I was like, man, I'm working so hard. I'm doing all these things. Am I doing the right things though? And it really helped me. Just that little Instagram post really helped me. And still to this day, I think about that. Am I working really hard on the correct things or not? So bite-sized pieces. So here's the challenge. I asked, I had about 120 people on this Zoom and I said, who has lead? You know, everybody's brand new. So I go, all right, everybody's brand new on this particular Zoom. Who has leads? Who doesn't? And you know what, guys? There's a direct correlation with people that are feeling discouraged. They are feeling lost with people who also don't have leads. So they think I've got to have these big systems of cold callers. I got to have all these things and Podio all built out in order for me to start this business. Guys, scrap all of that. One of the other things Brent talks about is you can literally just go into your neighborhood. What was it? You said, just pick 100 houses. Just pick 100 ugly houses as close to you as humanly possible and focus on what happens with those 100 houses. You will get deals. Mm-hmm. Now, the challenge is, what's the phrase? People say, it says, people dramatically overestimate what they can do in a week, but they underestimate what they can do in a year.
Yep.
And I want to tell you a story. I almost made my business partner cry a couple weeks ago from joy. He calls me up and he says, man, I just feel like we're stuck in the mud. You know, we were merging a couple things together. We were rebuilding a couple things. He goes, I feel like we're stuck in the mud. I go, hold on a second. Let me put this into perspective. What you and I have done in the last 21 months together as a partnership. And I go, we own this business. We own this business. We're doing this many flips. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. Most people look at what we're doing today as the Mount Everest that they have to climb. And you're standing on top of Mount Everest saying, I feel like I'm stuck. Bro, perspective, please, perspective. And he goes, actually, that's amazing. He's like almost started crying because he goes, I guess sometimes I just feel that as I'm focusing and I'm keeping my nose down, I'm not looking up to see everything I'm creating. And I go, bro, every day when we're focusing on small things, we're creating these massive domino effects of momentum in our lives. So for me, and we're going to jump into lead flow, we're going to jump into all that kind of stuff today for beginners, but I would focus on one thing. Don't be the person that's like, okay, I'm going to cold call for 2 hours. Then I'm going to go door knock for 2 hours. Then I'm going to text for 2 hours. Then I'm going to write my hand note written things for my direct mail for 2 hours. Then I'm going to go do bandit signs for 2 hours. And it's like, yo, focus on one thing at a time. So the squirrel challenge was this. This is all it was. Thursday to Thursday, I want you guys to go drive for dollars, 250 houses really close to your own personal home. That's it. I don't even want you to call the sellers. I don't want you to text them. I just want you to go drive for dollars, 250. And you'll listen to podcasts, you'll do all sorts of things, and then you'll get a feel for your neighborhoods. You'll get a feel for what's going on, and then you'll also be surprised how many stinking deals are out there. And that's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do. And the great Wholesaling Inc., by the way, Tom Kroll, Brent Daniels, I've listened to them talk about this all the time. you have to make things so small, like small micro wins is what you need to be focusing on. So the win is not, did I get a deal? So many people are like emphasizing, did I get a deal?
100%, dude.
And they start getting thrown all over the place. Guys, start small. Was I able to drive for dollars 250 houses this week? That's it. Then here's my other thing, and I'll give you guys some squatting up techniques. Here's the secret. I don't even have to be amazing on the phone or even know how to text or what the script is. I can literally just go in the comments on Wholesale Hotline and go, I drove for dollars 250 houses. Here's all the houses. I used, BatchDriven. We get a lot of success stories from BatchDriven. I did BatchDriven. By the way, batchdriven.com/squad up. You guys will get discounts and stuff like that. Then you just tell everybody, I drove for dollars 250. Who wants to call my sellers with me because I'm brand new? You don't even have to know everything. You just have to squad up with people. TTP students, Astro students, Sub 2 students, squad up with them. Keep it basic. So many people go, I'm distracted. I got to memorize this. I got to do this. I got to watch every live stream and every Zoom and everything that's going on. Guys, start small. Go download an app, whatever it is. Drive for dollars, get 250 houses in 1 week. You can do it with your wife. You can do it with your kids. You can do it by yourself while you're listening to Wholesale Hotline. In fact, guys, I got a question for you. Are you sitting here watching Wholesale Hotline just chilling? I hope not. In fact, what I would be doing if I were you guys is I would be driving around, driving for dollars, listening to us do this. Live That's the so law of, right? So,
I mean, look, there's over 300 people right now live, right? 300 people could be in their car right now listening to this live and driving for dollars at the same time. Imagine how many deals would come out of just that lead flow, just that activity.
Well, and I like this question that Paul asked here. How do you overcome limiting beliefs? Listen, Pace just said it 14 times. You got to squat up. You got to squat up with people that are thinking and doing great and amazing things. The problem that we have, sometimes we get surrounded by people that have limiting beliefs and they pull us down. We got to be around people that have. I had lunch, guys, on Friday with this guy, Jim. He's a wealth manager, right? And he works with some guys that you guys know. Actually, Jamil, he's going on the mastermind with us this week in Tulum, Mexico. Incredible. And he was talking about he's helping negotiate these sales of businesses at $150, $200 million that these people are going to get in the next 30 days or whatever else. Like, it's just, your mind gets bigger. The limiting beliefs sink away. You're like, wait a second, if somebody else can do it, why can't I? And then you go, oh, wait, how did he do it? How did she do it? Oh, that's how they did it? Oh, okay, great. It's about asking the questions. It's about using that pickaxe that we all have, which are questions, and breaking open the mind of somebody else. That's what we do. That's what the questions are for. That's what this show is for. You want to squat up. You want to destroy your limiting beliefs. Be around people that don't have those limiting beliefs. You will destroy it. I'm telling you, it'll change so fast and you're going to be in a different place. It's almost like you're living in this little fish tank and all of a sudden now you're in a pond and then all of a sudden now you're in the ocean. You get bigger and bigger and bigger and your mind gets bigger, your mindset, the things that you think that you can do and achieve and what's really important. And then you get self-awareness in there. And then all of a sudden it's all mixed up and you're looking back and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened in the last 21 months? Right? That's the conversation you had with Cody. I mean, it's just that incredible.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I remember actually talking to one of your students, Katie Fisher, TTP alumni as well. And she sends me a text message. She goes, since I joined the TTP program, I was able to accumulate, accumulate $100,000 in savings.
Yep.
And buy 7 rentals in less than 12 months by understanding TTP and Sub 2.
Yep.
In 12 months. And before that, she, they're working as selling cars at our car dealership, her boyfriend, Jack. So it's amazing that when you just focus on the small, important things and you're crawling forward, you lift your head up after 12 months and you're surprised at the impact and the momentum you've got. So check this out. Richmond right here says, that's it. I'm getting up. Then I've got other people in here saying, oh my gosh, you're so right. I need to start virtually driving for dollars. I see a lot of people in here saying, well, it's snowing where I'm at. So let me ask you a couple of questions, Brent and Jamil. Brent, let's see, Brent and Jamil. There we go.
Yep.
Brent and Jamil, about squatting up real fast. I see a lot of people that are saying it's snowing. I'm injured. Somebody says they have a herniated disc. Virtually driving for dollars.
He has a herniated disc, but he's doing it virtually right now.
Yes, there you go. So virtually driving for dollars is massive, massive, massive. So if I've gotten basically told right here by all three of us, go squat up and drive for dollars, right? Because that's a budgetary thing. Like if I have a really tight budget, what do I go do? Driving for dollars is the easiest. And I get a lot of people go, I got my first deal from driving for dollars.
Okay, so we really
I actually squat up.
We haven't really explained, and guys, he mentioned it before, and we do a good job of not like sounding like we're like advertising the whole show, but truly, the company Batch Skip Tracing put together their BatchDriven app, not just so that you can go find ugly houses. It has like pre-foreclosures and tax defaults and all that, right? I mean, Pace, what else is on there? I mean, this is like, you want to see the most motivated people within like a 5-mile radius of your home? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's batchdriven.com/squad up is the code. And essentially what it does is it gives you 4 subsets right out of the gate. So there's multiple things you can do, right? There's a lot of driving for dollars apps out there. There's a lot. Like for a while, we used Sales Rabbit. Sales Rabbit was really, really good. It's a little bit too intense for us. We wanted something a little bit, more basic. But there's a lot of them out there. The cool thing about BatchDriven specifically is that it gives you the foreclosures, gives you the tax delinquents, vacant properties, and absentee owners as 4 subsets right in your subscription. So you jump in there and you see all these emblems on the map. It's like Pokemon Go for wholesaling. It's like, oh my gosh, I already know where all the freaking Pokemon are. They're already told. If I don't want to, I don't even have to go find these ugly houses. BatchDriven tells me where all the pain already is. Then if I choose to do so, and I'm going to go drive for dollars, whether it's using BatchDriven or Sales Rabbit or one of the other driving for dollars apps, Brent and Jamil, if I told you had to go squad up and drive for dollars with somebody else, what would be the process? What would that look like? I have this thing. I want to see this. I want to see people doing, and I want to give you my answer after I listen to both of you guys. How would I squat up? Let's get very granular on that. What would I do in order to squat up with somebody? Would I go to the comments? Would I go to the Facebook group? What's the best way to squat up with somebody?
Well, I would start off in a Facebook group and I would become part of a community, right? So everybody that watches us, I mean, we get 400 or 500 people on here every week and then thousands throughout the week, right? But the ones that are here live, and if you get an opportunity to make it to the show live, make it to the show live, because the comments is popping, right? The comments is where, I mean, you know how many business partnerships have come out of the comments of Wholesale Hotline? It's crazy, right? And how many deals have been done in the comments of Wholesale Hotline? It's beautiful. But what I would do is I would just start saying, I would make a list of the resources I have, and then I would look at what do I need, right? So if I'm in pain and I can't move because something's happened, I have a bulging disc, I've broken my neck, so I know what that looks like. I understand that situation, but so I know I'm not going to be driving. But guess what is working? My voice, my mind, my ability to comp houses, my ability to understand value. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not mobile, maybe I'm going to squat up with my friend Pace Morby, who has a car and just so happens to be a Prius, so he's not getting hit up on gas. Like he's able to do this inexpensively. Why don't I say to Pace, hey, bro, go get the pre-foreclosure, or go get a pain point list, a tax lien list, go drive, check out, see if those houses are in bad shape. Send me the phone numbers and the names. I'm going to call all of these people while I'm sitting here laid up in my bed. And then I will follow back up with you and let you know where things are. Like right there, I think that's a business plan and a model in itself. And all of that can happen in the comments of Wholesale Hotline right now. Everybody who has access to one resource but is missing one, figure out what you're missing, find that missing piece in the comments or in a Facebook group, and then give it a shot. Give it a shot. The hardest thing for people to do is take that leap, is just to say, you know what, I'm gonna trust that this person on the internet that I met in a comment section is actually a cool person, and I'm gonna do some business with them. That's it. And guess what? 99.9% of the time they are.
Brent, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think we gave that was perfect for what Jamil just told everybody. Squad up. The next step is who's going to do what, right? Who's going to make the calls? Are we both going to make the calls and like have fun with it and like have a whole thing? We could do it virtually. We could do it in person. Who are we going to knock on the doors? Are we going to send them handwritten letters? Like you have to figure out how you want to get a hold of somebody, because listen, there's only 3 ways that you're going to get leads and deals. One is you wait for it by getting referrals. People know that you're in the business. They know that you're looking for ugly houses and they send you referrals. All right. The second way is you buy them by literally marketing to these lists of distressed property owners, whether it be a postcard or bandit signs, or you put together a website or whatever it is, or you go out and earn it. You earn it by either picking up the phone and calling them and being proactive, or you knock on their door. So that's your choices. Listen, I'm obviously going to push you to be proactive because you're going to get there faster and it's going to cost you the least amount, but you have that self-awareness. If you're like, I don't want to call anybody, but I'll do these handwritten notes and send them out, go for it. Just make sure that you're doing it enough. Make sure that you're taking action. Make sure that you're doing something every single day to feed your real estate business, your real estate entrepreneurial spirit, that fire that's inside you that makes you listen to this show or watch this, right? So that's the 3 thing. You have to understand, where do I want to go? Do I want to wait for it? Do I want to buy it, or do I want to earn it? And then find somebody that has that same mentality. And now you're working together. Now you're partnering up. Now you're getting you're squatting up. And I don't mean to start this as we're going to start a business together and be partners. I think that you can both squat up maybe for the first one and the first few, just feel good about it, and then figure out how to start your own businesses, because I want you to keep the most amount of money, and you could do it by yourself and hire people, but we won't go down that rabbit hole. But I think in the beginning, it feels good. It feels good squatting up and being like, Jamil, let's make some calls, bro. Let's do this. Like if me and Jamil and I could go right now, we could get a list of every wholesaler in town, and we could start calling them up and saying, what do you have for me? What do you have for me? What do you have for me? We would take those deals. We would sell it to our cash buyers. We'd make $5,000 to $8,000, and we could do that every single day of the week. Every single day we could do that. It's just fun doing it. But if you're out there and you don't have all these relationships yet, and you're just getting started out there, it starts with those ugly houses. You have to consider those ugly houses are those referrals that you're going to get to sell to your cash buyers. You just got to get in front of them. So have fun with it. Have fun. Find somebody that gels with you, that's going to do the work with you and really going to commit, and they're not going to flake out, and they're not going to just talk a big game, but they're going to actually take action, and then just get the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling and practice the script. Understand how to pre-qualify them. Understand what to do on an appointment. Understand how to close that deal. All of these things, we pile up all these things so high that we're like, oh my gosh, there's 17 steps to every wholesale deal. And I watched that incredible video that Brent did on the 17 steps, and it's just too overwhelming. I can't do it. Fine. Find somebody that's dope in your area that'll help you out. You guys gel together, figure it out, feel comfortable, get the first couple done, and now you're off and running.
I love it. And here's a couple of things I would suggest for everybody on top of this. So let's say that we start squatting up. Okay. What I would do is number one, I want to see you guys tagging me, Jamil, and Brent when you guys are driving around. And I just saw a couple of guys that just drove for dollars. 2 of my favorite people, Aaron Leitz and Rylas Dana. Rylas Dana is my probate attorney. He just texted me the other day. We've got 2 deals that him and I are working on with his clients. So talking about referrals, right? Brent was just talked about referrals. But the reality is Rylas, who's made money from working wholesale deals with me, he doesn't want to sit and wait for those types of deals. So he goes, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go knock doors and drive for dollars with Aaron Leitz, the other guy. And so I see them in the comments talking about how last week was Rylus Dana's first time going out and driving for dollars. And in one day, his comments, you guys will see them if you go scroll through. He says, man, it was easy. We had great conversations, have a couple of leads already from our first day driving for dollars. So first and foremost, Aaron Leitz and Rylus, who are actually incredibly good at Instagram, I am wondering why in the hell you did not tag Brent, Jamil, and Pace while you guys were out driving for dollars. What in the hell? So I would make a suggestion, guys. I would love to see people squatting up and taking photos of themselves out in the streets in their car, listening to Wholesale Hotline. In fact, guys, right now you should be out driving for dollars. Right now, while you've got an hour and a half of a captive 400 other people that are listening to this every single week. Be out there, get active, go drive for dollars right freaking now. There's no better time. And go to the Facebook group. Go to the Facebook group and tag you and the person you're squatting up with and show us how easy it is to squat up. Aaron Leitz says, we found a pre-foreclosure probate deal. Isn't that freaking amazing?
I feel like 40 people just left because our number went down by like...
Really?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, dude, like no joke. It went down like 50. It went down like 50.
They'll reconnect when they're in their car.
Yeah. How neat. How neat. Okay. Well, great. Good.
Guys, for real, you should be out driving for dollars. You can listen to this while you're driving for dollars. Okay. That's the cool thing about YouTube and Facebook is that you can, one of you guys can have the phone open listening on your car while the other guy is driving or looking for houses. You need to get out there and start driving for dollars. Let's do deals together. Let's make deals happen together. I want to start talking about like the students that are squatting up. Who has squatted up so far out of these 400 people watching? Are there anybody that have squatted up and done deals, whether it's JV, fix and flip, or wholesale together? I would love to have them as guests on the show.
Yep.
Who wants to come on Wholesale Hotline as guests on the show by squatting up and showing this community what we built this all for?
Right? Let's go.
Check it out.
Come on.
Here we go. People asking each other. Here we go. Wesley saying, I want to be on the show.
Wesley.
Who's looking to squat up in Florida? Guys, this is what's so freaking cool. I know that my Florida sub 2 crew, it was so cool watching them all get together the other day. Some of them were flying in from other islands to all get together all on one island. It's just so fun to
Hawaii.
watch.
You're Hawaiians.
Bro, we're going to Hawaii this year just because of how awesome that group is over there.
I love Hawaii. I want to go back. I got deported last time.
Oh, that's right. You got kind of got
I'm not
manhandled.
salty at it though, bro. I had my honeymoon in Hawaii. I have a special place in my heart for the islands and for the people of Hawaii. It's best food. I mean, I feel like I'm built like a Samoan, but a shorter one.
So Brent and Jamil.
Yes.
Brent, maybe you know this KPI. I feel like I know it from my own personal team, but maybe you know this from just all the TTP students. From a driving for dollars standpoint, are there expectations I should have? Is it I have to drive 25,000 houses? Is it
1 out of 200?
1 out of 200. Okay.
1 out of 200 what, Brent?
200 ugly houses that you either write down the address or add it to your app. 1 out of 200 houses.
Will
And
become a
remember,
deal?
when you add these properties, listen, you might not get a hold of them for a while. They might be in your lead follow-up for a while. You need 90 days of going after these and going after these and going after these and reaching out and getting these opportunities. But I'm telling you guys, I mean, 80% of the TTP family gets their first deal from driving for dollars.
1 out of 200 houses will lead to a deal.
Yep.
So,
Wait.
okay, hold on, because this is what's going to blow my mind right now.
Yep.
Because Pace and we drove for dollars together, right? He came, if you guys, I don't know if anybody saw that, that one YouTube video we did together, but he literally came and he knew I had 1 hour. So he came, picked me up. And in that time, we put into the database or into the BatchDriven app, we put 30 properties.
Yep.
So I could literally be out there for an 8-hour shift and put in 200 addresses. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get a deal that day.
No.
But what Brent is saying is aggregate that 200 and follow up with and communicate with them over the period of 90 days. And one of those 200 addresses will become a deal. Listen, if you did 3 hours of driving for dollars in the morning and then 3 hours of follow-up and calling in the afternoon, that's a 6-hour day. You would have a deal very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Here's what happens, though, Jamil. What happens is they're going to get that deal. And then they're going to start hiring people to do all the stuff that they wanted to do, right? People hire way too fast. You need to stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket until, like Sean Terry said, you make 30 grand 3 straight months. And that way you're going. Can I get a bell ring for a first?
This is one of my students, Darren.
Darren, come on, brother.
Darren, me and Matt Beard were just talking about you the other day, maybe 2 weeks ago. We were talking about how persistent you are and how regimented you are, and that we just knew your deal was cut. Your first deal was going to come, man. I am so glad to see this. Thank you, Brent. That's freaking amazing. Darren is incredibly, he's an incredible go-giver. He's always helping everybody else, and he's got his eyes on getting that first deal. And he just kept saying, I know it's going to happen. I just need to put in the work.
I want to know how much you made.
Darren, tell us how much you're going to make on that deal.
Come on, Darren.
Check this out. Pace's PNW Accountability Group has 4 contracts in January. We are working them together. That is amazing. So for a lot of people that don't know, in Sub 2, we created accountability groups. So not only do you have a mentor, not only do you have a Facebook group and a community, but we break it down into geographical areas where everybody in those geographical areas meet up once a week, and they're helping each other, right? Because Brent talked about it. He's like, everybody's got to know what they've got to do. Some people are going to be better at calling. Maybe they have more experience. Maybe they were a debt collector in years earlier. Maybe one person's like, yo, I've got time to drive for dollars, whatever. And the accountability groups in Sub 2, they work together to get deals done together. Devin Carter is also in my mastermind. Devin, thank you for being a leader. That's one thing that we focus on, is turning people into leaders. And this is why I call the TTP students the TTP Alumni, because they graduate to becoming leaders, right? They're alumni. Same thing with Sub 2, same thing with Astro. It's so fun to watch this community. So Devin, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Hey, I just wanted to address this because KVZ just said he's in Phoenix and he's got some deals. Hit me up in my DMs because Pace and I are looking right now. We need to flip 10 houses in the month of March. And we are trying to buy as much as we can possibly find. Hit me up in the DMs. Pace and I want to buy it.
I got a smoking one for you.
Oh, please. Is it bad? We want bad ones.
Bro, you have a deal for us?
I haven't seen the inside, but it's a 4-3 in Central Phoenix.
Love it.
Yeah.
We're buyers.
Yep.
Bro, can we buy it, please?
Yep.
I'm buying a deal. I'm supposed to close escrow today on a Sub 2 deal from you guys. Yeah.
Let's do it. Get it closed.
Guys, anybody that I'm just waiting on title, man. That's everything's so freaking slow right now. So everybody, we want to do deals together. I want to see you guys doing deals together. I see the Sub 2 and the Astro and the TTP students doing deals together. Who is not a student of one of our 3 programs? Attach yourself to a TTPer. Attach yourself to an Astro student. Attach yourself to a Sub 2 student. Let's see you guys working together. It's making me want to freaking drive for dollars while I'm doing it.
I want to be in the car right now and be like, I don't care about this microphone.
Or just pop out and just hit the door of an ugly house. You know what I mean? Just go right up to it.
Pull up.
Actually, Jamil, when I pulled over to your house today, on your street, if you go all the way out, which is right where, anyway, you know, there's a house directly. What's the main street? 44th?
Yep.
So right on 44th, the opposite corner from your guys' street is the ugliest house I've seen. They have a city notice. I'm going to go knock on that house tomorrow and I'm going to document it.
Awesome. We need to be together in the morning tomorrow, Pace. Let's do it together.
Love it. Did we get some sort of special email I'm not aware of?
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. So guys, who's knocking doors in Phoenix? Maybe you can come out with me and we can document some stuff together and encourage people to work together. Who's in Phoenix that wants to do a door knocking party where we go drive for dollars? Maybe we do like a little competition.
Yeah.
You think what would be a good competition? See who could do the most. Here's what we do. I think what we do is we get, we do a door knocking, not a door knocking competition, just a driving for dollars competition to see how many ugly houses people can get into like a folder. And I want to see screenshots in the Wholesale Hotline Facebook group. And whoever can get the most, we give them some sort of cool prize. Or what do you think? Maybe the ugliest house? Who can find the ugliest house?
No, the most, for sure.
The most?
Yeah, the most, and then like what they win is
the reward will be they have an opportunity to call an incredibly distressed list of properties that's going to pay them probably $100,000 over the next 12 months because they're going to go and they're going to actively reach out to those property owners and they're going to find out 4 things. You all know what those 4 things are, baby. Condition of the property, timeline to sell it, their motivation, and their price. That's the next step. We've been talking lead generation, but we got to get into conversion. We got to do the lead follow-up. We got to find out, are these people willing to do business with us? But that's the reward. The reward is not a TTP t-shirt or hoodie. The reward is having 1,000 properties in there that should turn into 5 deals. And depending on what market you're in, I mean, I always run everything off of a $10,000 average per deal. So, I mean, unless you're in a really, really, really low priced area, I would run everything off of that. 1,000 addresses, 5 deals, 10K.
Brent, a couple questions for you. A couple questions. 1, 80% of TTP students are getting their first deal from driving for dollars. So if
they haven't done a deal before, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So if they have never done a deal before,
yep.
If they've never done a deal before, they're 80% of people's first deal ever comes from driving for dollars. So I love that.
Correct.
What neighborhood should I start in, bro?
You want to start in older neighborhoods. You want the properties to be built at the very latest 1990. So you want older neighborhoods that need a facelift, need renovation, need total updating. You know, these houses don't have to be completely destroyed, but there's a big difference between a house that was original cabinets and appliances from 1980 versus something that's selling in 2021. So we want to look for opportunities to build in really big spreads. And the reason I say this is I'm just catering the first deal. I want the biggest pool of buyers, which is going to be your fix and flippers. Typically, depends on your market. Some markets, it's more of a rental base that you're going after with your cash buyers. But typically, I want you to look for ugly houses because you're going to make more on average to a fix and flipper than you will selling it to somebody that's going to put it in their rental portfolio.
Okay, typically. Cool. So, hold on. I want to pull something up real quick. I actually didn't even realize they did this, but I really think this is awesome. Check this out. So, check out these handsome guys right here, guys.
Oh,
so go to batchdriven.com/squad up. You guys will get 50 skip traces for free for that code. And then
it's a 7-day trial. That's dope.
Right.
That's cool.
Love it. I would start there. Or if you're I know Brent has coupon codes for Deal Machine. Other people have used Sales Rabbit, whatever it is. I would start there. So start number 1, get a free trial. Okay. Step number 2 is I would see how quickly you can go drive for dollars for 250 houses. You will be freaking blown away by how easy it is to go drive for dollars. So Brent, I have the app.
Yes.
I know this sounds really silly, but you say, go look for older neighborhoods. What if I've never driven around? I don't know what my city looks like. Should I just get my car and start driving around, find a pocket of houses that just are run down, old? That's it. That's as simple as that.
You're about to know your neighborhood. Listen, your neighborhoods, your community, that's your shelves on the grocery store. That's your inventory. You know what I mean? Like if you don't know what's going on in your store, we have some problems. You need to get out there. You need to know what's going on with your inventory, and you need to know what areas have the most buzz about them, the most cash buyers that are looking for it. You know what I mean? And that's going to help you determine how much you can make on it on these deals. The more popular an area, the more buyers you put it in front of, the more you're going to make on every deal. So, 100%. Just go around. Listen, it's not rocket science. There's ugly houses. Talk to the owner. The beautiful thing about BatchDriven is it's hooked in completely with batch skip tracing. The issue with some of the other platforms is you have to export it out of their platforms to get the right numbers from Batch, because Batch is by far, without a doubt, not even close, the best data that you can get. Everybody's about 70% watered down for Batch data, okay? Everybody. And I'm telling you, everybody, all right? Batch skip tracing has the best data available, 100%. And a lot of people make the mistake of going to somebody else, and then they get frustrated. They switch over and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. So it's already connected in there. So check it out.
I love that. So Ingrid Hernandez, who I was not paying attention. I was paying attention to the comments. I think it was Jamil. You said you got to, or who was it that said that our
That's
housing.
me. Yeah.
Okay. So Ingrid says, I love that analogy. Arizona is our store. So she's a licensed realtor here and wholesaler. She says, we need to know our inventory available. It is your store. That's such an interesting analogy. I've never really thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one that's interesting. It's just Dom said, does PropStream come with BatchDriven? You don't even need PropStream if you have BatchDriven, because the lists are within the app. I mean, it's all there.
The cool thing too is that I know PropStream is great. A lot of people really prefer PropStream, but I know that Batch Leads is now utilizing, they actually have their own comping tool now. I don't know how many people have messed with that yet, see how they like it. I know Cody, my business partner, has completely switched us over. We canceled our PropStream account. We're full Batch Leads.
I've got all my Astros. We're all comping using the Batch Leads tool now. They've been canceling their PropStream memberships too.
I think the same code applies, guys. Batchleads.io/squad up. We obviously, Brent offices with the Batch Leads owners, so they're all in the same area together. So Brent leverages his relationship with them to give us some good homie hookups. So batchleads.io/squad up if you guys are looking for a texting platform and a platform that can comp your deals. They have a new comping platform. So PropStream is kind of, in my opinion, for our business personally, we're kind of going away from PropStream, and I'm seeing more and more people do the same thing. Darren Talcott says the same
spending
thing.
a lot. They're just spending a lot. So definitely check it out. But a nice introduction to it is BatchDriven. You know, I think it's the lowest price thing to get into. Whatever, you guys get it. Check it out. Yep.
All right. So you got 200 houses in your database. You're following up. What's next?
You're following up.
You get a person saying, yeah, I'm interested. It's time now to talk numbers. All right. What's the next thing to do, guys? Well, you have to understand numbers. You've got to understand numbers. You've got to start looking at value. You've got to start knowing what you can offer. Start creating a story. Create a narrative that you can take to that seller that's honest and realistic and works for our model. And then you do what Mr. Butterlips up here would do and convert them. You convert them in pace. When you're talking to a seller and you've created the narrative, you've got value, you've got supporting evidence, you have a seller who has motivation. What other technique or tactic do you need to bring to the table in order to convert that into a contract?
Are you asking me?
I think, yeah.
Oh, he was confused because you usually call me Butterlips.
Jamil, I'm actually like totally enamored with how amazing your voice sounds.
Well,
yeah, he's not listening to anything, Jamil. He's just like, wow.
He's just like, he's looking at the levels right now. Like, oh, Jamil's levels are perfect.
You sound great. You sound almost like I'm sitting next to you. It's awesome.
What I was saying is, so you've got a motivated seller. You've got the narrative. You figured out value. You know what you can offer. You have supporting evidence as to why that's all you can offer. You've got you've got the pictures of the property that the seller is going to want, X number, because they're using the Daryl's house down the road that's gorgeous. You've got it all. You've got it all there, but you now are going to actually go to that seller's house and convert that into a deal. You've got the narrative, you've got motivation. What else do you need to take to the seller appointment to convert them?
So interesting. I'll pull up a little screen share with you guys right now. The screen share is with Matt Beard, my business partner. This morning sends me a text and he's like, "Hey," and I'll give you guys the address. I don't care. Let's just freaking roll, right? The seller. This is such a funny lead. So this is how our leads come in. Do you guys want me to show you this?
Yeah,
might be helpful. Where is that bad boy? Here it is. Okay, so let me see if I can amplify it, make it a little bit bigger.
They're asking 75K.
Yes, bro. So
Come
check this
on.
out.
What are we doing?
So here's the seller's name. Here's their phone number.
Come on.
30 East Brown Road.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Wants to meet at the property Monday at 10 a.m. He wants to close escrow fast, wants a $5,000 deposit. He got 2 other people he's talking to. We told him we don't want to bid. So where is this lead coming from? This lead is actually coming from my virtual assistant at VA Hub. So these are the way my leads come across from VA Hub. So again, we always want to make sure you guys get good discount codes. So if you guys go to VA Hub and you're looking for somebody to do your cold calling, same thing. Use the code SQUAD UP when you go to them. Let them know that you came from Wholesale Hotline. They'll give you a discount. It's currently rented. Tenants need blah, 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 all that kind of information, right? This was super interesting right here. He says he wants me to bring a check. Where was that?
Okay.
The seller wanted me to bring a check. Okay, so this happened today. I went to this appointment this morning. I don't go to a lot of appointments, but the seller wanted to meet. Here's what was going on. This seller had been getting called over and over and over and over, but he wasn't ready to sell until he was ready to sell. And so he finally started picking up the phone and he started answering 10, 15 other wholesalers. He actually gave his number out and the first wholesaler is like, yeah, that's actually incredibly low. Where can I meet you right now to sign a contract? And he tells the seller that's a very low number. And I'm like, so the seller's telling me all this. This is how I know this. So my first question Jamil asked is like, what else do I need to do to get the contract? My first question to the seller was, you're asking a really good number. I'm curious, why haven't you contracted yet? Why haven't you contracted yet? Right? So that's my question. You always want to ask a couple of questions. So that's one question. Another question is, why haven't you listed with a real estate agent? Because I have never bought a home from somebody by convincing them not to list with a real estate agent.
Right.
That's not the name of this game. Would you agree, Brent?
100%. Causes too much friction. It puts you on the back foot. Now you're trying to defend your offer, which is silly. You're chasing money. And when you chase money, it runs away.
Right. So when I get people like, hey, how do I get this house under contract? There's a real estate agent has it listed. I'm like, how long has it been listed? Oh, 30 days. I'm like, dude, don't waste your time. Go after distressed property owners. So distressed property owners aren't going with a real estate agent. It's just a good clarification question that I always ask up front. So clarity up front. Why am I there? And then what I do, Jamil, is I jump into an upfront contract. Okay, so think about this. This is an upfront contract. So before I even go and we get deep dive into any of that kind of stuff, I just go, okay, cool. So let me tell you what I do. And this guy, I can't remember his name. I could pull it up, but I think it's Michael. So I said today, and I recorded this whole conversation like I record every conversation I ever have with a seller. And I said, hey, Michael, so let me tell you how this works. Just so you have clear expectation from me and vice versa. I'm here. I want to buy the house. I think your asking price is awesome. As you can tell, you have 5 different people, but at the end of the day, you got to make a decision of who you want to sell the house to. At any point in this conversation, if I'm not a good fit for you, please just tell me to stop and leave the property, and I will do the same thing with you if I decide this isn't a good deal for me. Can we at least have that understanding that we're not going to play games with each other? And I immediately get that whole playing games and ghosting. And then when the seller says, yeah, like what games would I play? I go, well, I've been doing this business a decent amount of time. A lot of times sellers are too embarrassed to just tell me what's really going on. So they just avoid my phone calls and my text messages. So I promise you, I won't do that to you. If you promise me you won't do that to me. He's like, yeah, absolutely. I love that. Absolutely. I love that. So we get into a conversation today. His reason why he has not sold the property. Okay. The reason he has not sold the property is because his attorney is a probate situation. His attorney told him, don't sell to anybody that doesn't have a $5,000 deposit.
Cool.
Okay. So
Great advice.
a lot of brand new wholesalers. So you got to find out, Jamil, that's the thing. You got to find out, why haven't they sold to somebody else? Because in this climate, every seller's talking to 10 other people when they're ready.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
So you always ask him that question. Now, I told him, I go, great. So I didn't tell him my price. I didn't tell him any of that stuff. I just said, okay, so you're telling me if I show you a $5,000 deposit, we're good to go. And he goes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. I go, okay, great. What's the next step? Right? And he goes, well, don't you want to talk about price? I go, you already named your price. So if you've already named your price and you want to move forward, you tell me what I got to do to make that happen. And that was literally the whole conversation.
Amazing.
But here's the thing is, all these other wholesalers, I wanted to jump into this. Why did the other wholesalers not get the guy under contract right then and there? Because one, they didn't have the $5,000, which is so silly that you don't have $5,000 because you have the ability to squad up with so many people that have $5,000.
Right.
I'm telling you, there are hundreds and hundreds of people in your market right now. Wholesale Hotline, we are well over 400 live viewers right now between a couple of YouTube streams and Facebook. 400 plus watchers right now. You tell me you can't squat up with somebody who has $5,000?
I'll tell you what, if you squatted up with Keegley, we'll not only give you a proof of funds, we'll even put the EMD up for you.
Guys, it says it's super interesting. This is, I know Brent has dealt with this a lot longer. He's been a coach longer than me, but these are common things that people put in their mind that they're roadblocks that aren't even real. I don't have earnest money. I don't have a deposit. I have $400 in my bank account and I can barely afford Taco Bell this week. Why would a seller ever give me a contract? Those things are all, like, in this day and age, there are so many resources and help that you get from a community like TTP, a community like Astro Flipping, and a community like Sub2. There's no limitation on the resources you can get at your disposal. So that's it. That was the main reason why he hadn't sold to anybody else. I'm sitting there thinking, send me to this appointment, Matt. $75,000. The ARV for that house was $199,000.
Wow.
It's a great deal. It's a great deal. So then
Phenomenal
I asked
deal.
the question,
Yep.
why haven't you sold to anybody else? I walk into the fire head on. Everybody else goes to an appointment. I watch them. Like when people ask me to go on their appointments, I go, okay, I'm going to shadow you. Let me watch you. And they just dance around the topic. Topic. Just jump right in, guys. Have a normal conversation. Do you want a sales guy to come to your house and dance around a topic about, okay, so I know you're a Cutco knife salesman. Let's just jump into why you got the dopest knives. You don't need to talk about something that's not so ambiguous and not even related to the topic. You're the same thing. Jump right into the conversation. So, Michael, why haven't you sold your house yet? I'd love to know what I can provide that you've been looking for that no other investor has been willing to give you. And he simply told me right there. He gave me the closing line right there. Mm-hmm. Nobody will show me $5,000 and my attorney, blah, 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 blah. I go, great. Did you tell this to the other people? He goes, well, I didn't tell him that nobody else has provided it like I told you, but I asked them for a $5,000 deposit and they said, I'll get back to you. And they never did.
Wow.
Yep. And the reason for that is because these people are brand new. They don't understand that you need to leverage other people's resources by squatting up in order to get these types of deals done.
And that's exactly what it is, Pace. You know, I try to put this analogy into the TTP family, which is, imagine if you have an aunt, right? And she's just a billionaire, right? And she's sweet as can be, and she supports you, and she loves you, and she says to you, Pace Jamil or whoever on here, if you find a great real estate deal, I will back you up. I'll help you out. Okay. I will fund it. I'll give him proof of funds. I'll give him the deposit. You just go out there and you find opportunities and you bring him to me, and we'll make this thing happen. Well, guess what? Everybody has that ant in your marketplace. Am I wrong? I mean, everybody has that ant called Keegley. I mean, what are we talking about? Everybody has literally a open bank, filled with as much funds as you want. If you will just be brave enough to have a conversation with somebody in your marketplace and tell them and ask them, hey, listen, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be as proactive as I can, but I don't have all the money. I feel very, very gross lying to sellers and telling them that I have all this money. But if you back me up, if you are there with me, if you partner with me as I do this, then I can go out there and I can find these great opportunities, and we'll split them until I get my feet on the ground and really build my systems and figure it out. Everybody has it. Go to Keegley.com, squat up with people in this market. If you're certainly in Phoenix, you know where to go. You know where to go here. But I mean, in any market, in any of these markets, you have that ant that has unlimited funds. You just need to be brave enough to go have that conversation, meet with them and say, hey, listen, let me bring something to your table, and will you back me up? And then, you know what, if they're on vacation, if they're doing something else, have 2 or 3, have people in your life that are willing to jump and work with you, because it's their livelihood. I'm telling you, in every single major market, I haven't gone anywhere and been on stage and spoke, and there is not a dozen big time players there that have capital reserves for any kind of deals that you want. So it's just about setting it up so that you're not going out there and lying to sellers and feeling gross and feeling like you can't do this and being like, trying to, you're not going to get a deal because you don't have 5,000 earnest and it's a $75,000 condo that's worth 200,000. You don't think anybody in your market would jump on that to work with you, but they're going to steal it. Great. Then don't work with them again. They get no more of your deals. You're in the driver's seat. The person sourcing the deals is in the driver's seat. So go out there. You can do this. If you're proactive and you're going out there, squat up with somebody that has the money that's already been, that can support you so that you don't feel like you're out there lying.
Jamil, can I have you answer a couple questions here in just a second? I want to touch on, I see somebody asked, what is Keegley? And I love the way they ask the question. They go, what is Keegley? So everybody that doesn't understand what Keegley is, write Keegley in the comments. I want to know who does not know what Keegley is and what Keegley does. Okay. Before I jump to Jamil and give him the stage to explain the process of what they built and how game-changing Keegley really is, I want to touch base on what Roland just said. Roland wrote on the screen, you guys can see it says, imposter syndrome is real. This is what's so amazing about these cliche, horrible phrases that we hear all the time. They're like the Instagram quotes of like, you're the sum of the 5 closest people you hang out with. And as annoying and as cliche as they are, holy moly, these things are so true. Because the reality is, if I don't have the money, if I don't have the sales skills, if I don't have the know-how on Podio or this, that, or the other, the reason why you guys are here and the reason why we refuse to do this show like Bigger Pockets does it, and Bigger Pockets is dope, don't get me wrong, but they do it recorded. How can you squat up with each other? How can you guys meet with each other and network with each other? You need to find the people that you can leverage in your market, whether it's us or our students. Think about that. My students not only have proof of funds. Say, I know Brent and Jamil do a lot of these things, if not even more of them than I do, but I give proof of funds. I show properties that I own, LLC structures to sellers. I just did this with Zach Shelley, who's in the comments. I bought one of his deals in Dallas because his seller says, I don't think you're credible. I want to know that you're as real as you say you are. So I wrote an email saying, hi, my name is Pace Morby, and I do deals with Zach Shelley. Here's the structure of all my businesses. Here's my business license. Here's a photo of me and the title company we're going to use to close this transaction. Here's a list of my LLCs and all the rental properties that I own. Here's my title company I own. Talk about credibility. I wrote that all to an email. The next day or a couple of days later, the seller comes back and goes, all right, we're selling the house to you on seller finance at 2% interest, and that house is turning into an Airbnb. Zach Shelley then gets his first creative finance deal, but he was sweating bullets thinking, I don't have any of this. Leverage other people so that you don't have imposter syndrome, because when you squad up with each other, everybody is sharing resources. There's no need to be an imposter. You can say, yeah, that's a great question. Let me talk to the people. Let me talk to my partners, right? Joint venture partners. You don't even have to be LLC partners. Joint venture, baby. And speaking of joint venture, Jamil Damji, you got the stage, bro. Tell people what Keegly is.
Well, thanks, bro. What Keegly is a wholesale dispositions company. So our job is to help you find a buyer for your deal, but we're more than that, right? We can be your legitimate partner in a deal. So if you're new and you don't have a proof of funds, send us the information. If we underwrite it, we like the deal, we'll give you our proof of funds. We will put up the EMD. We'll take all of that out of your hands and keep you in the deal with us and still share the deal with you so that you can make the money, right? The facts is that we know that when we're doing this business, especially in the beginning, some of those things are a little bit difficult to get our hands on. So we're there to help you in the beginning stages. Now, let's say you've graduated from beginner and now you're doing a lot of lead generation. You're getting a lot of deals, but you want to know, I want to back end a number into this deal. I want to know how much Keegly will buy this property from me before I contract it, so I know what I need to buy it at in order to make money the moment I get a signature. You can get that from us too. So you can reach out to us and say, what's your buy number on this property? And we'll respond with a buy number. Let's say you already are good at understanding your numbers and you're more seasoned than that. And now you're the investor that's understanding their numbers, going out there, getting contracts getting properties under contract. But because you're spending all your time talking to sellers and getting contracts, you're neglecting your relationships with your buyers, or your buyers are a handful of guys that are beating your numbers down. You come to Keegly, and what we do is we send out your deal to our buyers that pay a premium. They will pay more than other buyers. Why? Because that's how we're going after them. They know that they need to come in with their highest and best. They know that it's a competitive market, and they know that we have other buyers that will buy that deal right away. So they got to move quickly. Now, typically, what will end up happening is you'll make way more money JVing with Keegly than you would have made just wholesaling it yourself. So not only are we there to be a backstop for you, we're there to be your partner to help you with the proof of funds or funds. We're there to provide you back-end buy numbers. Or if you've graduated beyond that, we're there to be your dispositions partner to help you sell your deal for the maximum dollars so that you are squeezing every ounce of juice out of every single deal possible so that this business model is highly profitable for you. So we're your partner in this through and through and through.
Hello, so specifically, real quick, how do people reach out to you, Jamil? Who do they go to the website and then they just get like lost in website link? Like, is there something, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Brent, because it has been happening recently where people are getting lost because Keegly is a national franchise. So I own the corporate market, which is Phoenix, right? That's if you have a deal in Phoenix, just reach out to me directly. But if you are dealing nationwide, again, you can DM me on Instagram, and my funnels and Instagram will direct you to the right place, or go to Keegly Dispo, which is in the comments right now. You can see Keegly Dispo right there. They're commenting, they're responding to people, and reach out to Keegly Dispo. They are the national franchise distribution channel, so you can reach out to them. They will determine which franchise needs to handle this specific deal and handle it for you. So they'll put you in touch with the right people.
And Jamil, if for some reason Keegly's not in their market, do you have advice on how to open up a conversation with somebody that could be like that, but not, you know what I mean? Somebody that's more of an individual, somebody that's more local, in case that, Keegly's not in their market. How would you go about that?
even if we're not in their market, we're still giving buy numbers. We're still trying to help you out because we've done the work and we've looked at every market in the United States, and we have an understanding of what a property needs to be bought at in that specific market in order for it to be a wholesale deal. So you can still reach out to us for numbers, but of course we're more incentivized to do deals where we're operating, but we'll still help you. Even if you're in a market that we're not located in, we still want to help you.
Amazing.
So, real quick, a couple of people asking about Atlanta franchise. I know Chris Campbell out there personally. We've done deals together. He's a great guy. If you are looking in the comments, Chris Campbell, I've asked him multiple times, are you okay with me giving out your personal cell phone number? The answer is yes. So please reach out to Chris Campbell. If you are in Atlanta market, he will help you out. Okay. He will help you out. Amazing, amazing guy. The last time we were in Atlanta, we did a meetup. There was like nearly 300 people that showed up. That was bonkers. Chris Campbell is well connected, doing a ton of deals in Atlanta. So make sure you guys reach out to him. So just real quick, I've been doing deals for a while. And when I was on my 4th year in wholesale, I reached out to Jamil. This is when I was still a a Homevestors franchise owner. This is years ago. And I reached out to Jamil on a deal. I go, hey man, I've got a lead. I think I'm just going to throw it away. The ARV is like $1.7 million. I don't have buyers for that, dude. Like, I know one guy in town that'll do deals like that. His name's Jerry freaking Norton. And we're buddies with them. So it wasn't a deal for Jerry. So I reach out to Jamil. I go, hey, I'm going to throw this thing away. There's no way I can make money on this deal. Are you joking me? Keegley pulls out a buyer out of nowhere on a $1.7 million ARV. The fact that they found a buyer for me gave me the confidence. I went and negotiated with the seller, and I was able to get the seller to actually write me a check for $50,000 to get rid of the house. If I didn't have Keegley, they would have had to have written a check for $200,000. I am not joking you. Keegley got a number 150 grand higher than I ever would have thought. Do you remember that deal from years ago, Jamil? So a lot of times Keegley is the difference between us getting a deal and us throwing a deal to our creative finance pile or even to the trash, is because the number just doesn't work. So Keegley is a godsend for people that are brand new in this business. Go and reach out to Keegley. I know Thomas is going to have 175 franchises here in the next probably 18 months all over the country. There's really no corner of this globe that you guys are not going to be covering, which is amazing.
I'm excited for it. And with your and I show pace, you know,
what show?
What show? every household will be wanting to buy a house from Keegley. So we'll be able to really help you guys move your inventory for sure.
Love it. So, Brent.
Yes.
Your students that are doing deals, they're brand new, and 80% of them are getting driving for dollars deals.
Yep.
Are they squatting up together, or is this are they doing it all by themselves?
It's a combination. You know, a lot of them have worked with Keegley to dispo their deal and to get their comps. You know, anybody in my TTP family can, you know, they reach out to me to run, you know, and look at some of the comps so that they feel good there. But selling them, if they don't have their cash buyer set up, then Keegley steps in, does some of that, or they squat up, or they just do what we, you know, train in the program and just build up your cash buyer database really quickly as soon as you get a deal and start reaching out to the people buying in that area. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The biggest hurdle right now is finding and getting that deal locked up, right? And making sure that you're locking it up at the right price. So I don't want to go down I think maybe next week we can go down the rabbit hole of building up a cash buyer database, which I think, you know, the whole idea, and I think Kelly wanted to do this, is like keep a theme for each month and then keep going on. So that could be really cool, I think.
I like that.
But yeah, listen, it all starts with the conversation. It all starts with picking up the phone and understanding how to use your voice and how to use the way that your tone and your pacing and the words that you're saying, and being consistent and building up building up your experience. But from what I've seen, guys, and you guys have seen this, I mean, there's something about real estate entrepreneurs that just once they get past the natural fear of doing it, all of a sudden they get into a real rhythm. And it's not so much that it's not like they're very like engineering where they just like real flat and almost like robotic. Most people in this group, most people listening to this, watching this, they've got that good personality where if they just get in front of people, they can make something happen. And I think that's really the biggest thing is just getting over that doubt, disappointment, and distraction. That's what we started this thing with. And it's the absolute truth. You destroy those things. They are named now, right? They are named. So no longer can you be like, oh, I just can't do it. No. Which one is it? Is it doubt? Is it disappointment? Is it distraction? What is your fear here? Once you get past that and you're taking that action, you're having those conversations, you're going to find one that people really are struggling out there. People really need help selling these properties. People really need help selling it to the right people and not to people that are just going to mess around with them. We all know that there's people in our industry that lock up a deal and the day before it closes, try to get a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 price reduction put screws to these sellers. This happens every single day of the week. We need to go out with a really, really big heart, with a lot of optimism, and bring that to people's lives and really help them out. That's what it's all about. Going out there, people are in tough situations, whether it's the condition of the property or they inherit it or it's financial or it's emotional or whatever the reason for the distress, there is distress there. And we go out and we solve that. So there you go. Yeah.
So guys, a lot of questions about Brent. A lot of questions about Keegley came up. Okay, so I want to remind you guys, a month ago, we had one of our most viewed episodes of all time with Thomas Martinez from Keegley. I just put the link in the comments. I'm going to put it in there again. It's a YouTube link. It's Wholesale Hotline. So far, I look at it, 3,500 people have watched it just on Brent's, and then on mine and other channels, over 12,000 people have watched that exact episode. It's epic. Go and watch that. Is a deep dive on dispositions, so selling your deals, all done by Thomas Martinez. I think Jamil was not there because he was getting surgery on something. I've somewhat lost track.
Well, whatever, he's the arm. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
looks
right.
Good. Look at that.
Not too bad.
They're messing with your ink, though, aren't they?
The accident-prone wholesale injury coach right here.
So I want to highlight a comment that's been brought up multiple times. KVZ says, Pace, I'll bring you 5 flips in exchange for help on my first flip. So anybody watching right now. So check this out. Brent Daniels.
Yep.
You don't teach fix and flip. I know you do. You've done fix and flips. I know, but that's not the primary focus of your deal. So I had one of your students reach out to me and say, look, I've mastered TTP. I'm getting deals, but I want to elevate my business and expand, and I want to do some fix and flip. And I go, great. Sure. You're a TTP student. You know how to lock up deals. If you bring a deal to me, I will fund the deal. I will run the construction. My wife, Laura, will list the property, and I will take care of all the financial obligations, and I will split the deal with you. That girl on her first fix and flip, all she had to do was bring a deal to me. We made $78,000. Her take home on it was $39,000.
Yep.
And she was able to watch the fix and flip unfold. She was able to see my team. She was able to meet at the property. So guys, anybody that wants to learn fix and flip in Arizona, please bring us deals. Jamil and I are going to be doing a TV show on A&E. We just got the paperwork sent over to us, so we're very, very excited about it.
I wanted to celebrate with you guys and fire this bad boy off. But
can you fire it up right now?
I'm afraid that Jamil would like burn himself or something. I don't, listen, breaking some things here and there, but I don't want you,
Dude, that thing's so sick.
This is a real deal flamethrower, guys. Okay. And I wanted to celebrate, light up some fire. I'm not going to light it up. Are you kidding me? Jesse would destroy me. I'd light this whole, half my office is like papers.
That is so cool.
But congratulations, guys. How incredible. Tell us about it.
So we're actually we had a TV show that we were working on about a year ago before COVID. It was going to be Brent, Pace, and Jamil. And that went away because of COVID. And that whole network just said, hey, we're going to like shelf all new ideas. And so Jamil and I continued to travel around. We took the risk. We spent a lot of time and a lot of money in 2020 traveling around and people calling us crazy. And we're like, yo, we don't want to lose this momentum. And the television network A&E picked up on our travelings around the country. And they were like, we love this dynamic duo. And they then watched a YouTube video of Jamil and I doing a fix and flip together on a hoarder house. And they then put us in the running against 4 other fix and flippers. They wanted to do a fix and flip show. So these other 3 guys that we were in the running with, you would know their name. We're not going to say their names. But we didn't know their names at the time until they were told no. It was all about fixing and flipping. And what they liked about us the most is that Jamil and I are actually competitors that decided on that one deal that was on my YouTube channel. We decided, hey, instead of us fighting and comparing, because we were bidding each other up on this house, Jamil and I just called each other up and said, bro, let's just do the deal together and we'll document it and show people how we squad up. And they love that so much that the main reason why they chose us is because we are competitors and choose to work with each other instead of deteriorate and fight each other and backstab each other. So the show is going to be about fixing and flipping. It's going to be coming together with your competition and leveraging other people's resources to elevate yourself in a business that in the past, again, I say it in the past because we are changing the game. In the past, people have been cutthroat, and it's our job to change that whole entire process. So I imagine in about 6 months, 5 months or so, the show will actually air in sometime in August, September. Filming starts in March. And I imagine we're going to have Wholesale Hotline is going to have a couple thousand or more live viewers every single week. It's going to be pretty epic. Going to be broadcast on A&E. Our first season is going to be 10 episodes. They're all 1 hour long.
Woo. And they're also going to be highlighting the wholesaling part. So how we get the deal is a part of it. And so wholesaling will now have a national presence, and I'm happy for that because there needs to be another narrative about how much good the wholesalers in the world are doing for the industry, rather than those odd stories that you hear where there's something predatory that happened, you know?
We're excited about it. We want to do more deals with you guys, and Jamil and I need more fix and flip. So if you guys have opportunities with us,
Phoenix,
or for us in Arizona, please, we are buyers.
Yep.
Did you guys already sell that hoarder house?
The cop house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we sold it. I think we ended up making a little over $50,000 on that deal.
And so you guys probably need some more inventory.
Yes, we need inventory.
Maybe it's something with a charming neighborhood like Central Phoenix.
Yes,
right,
bro,
there, Brent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Please, bro, please sell us that deal.
Please, Brent. It's the best part is you showing up to the house to sell us the deal.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I love it.
It has to happen.
Episode 1, Brent Daniels sells the deal. I love it. We really do need an episode 1, something with 3 or 4 really good houses. An Central Phoenix house that needs a lot of love is a really great way to start.
Awesome. Gotcha. Congratulations, guys. Hold on. So everybody wants me to do this.
First deal, Pace. Our first TV deal.
Woo! Hey, guys, hold on a second. Steve Trang.
Yo, no, that's not your name. That's my name.
You are on Wholesale Hotline with Brent Daniels and Jamil Damji. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be on Wholesale Hotline.
Bro, this is your second time airing. Actually, this might be your third time airing on Wholesale Hotline.
At some point, I'm going to be a celebrity like you guys.
Bro, you're you're blowing up on that TikTok thing, bro.
So are you. That's actually why I was calling you.
Oh, because why?
Did you get the contract?
We did get the paperwork sent over to us today. Yes, we are actually, that's exactly what we were talking about, is the TV show.
I'm talking about the car.
Oh, yeah, I got that contract this morning. Yeah, I got it.
You got the contract? Did you record the video after you got the contract?
No, I recorded the video before I got the contract, and I had a lot of haters telling me that I'm stupid for driving a Prius, because if I was cool, I would be driving some sort of really amazing car.
Like a Tesla.
Like a Tesla, like Steve Trang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
everybody say hi to Steve Trang. I'm going to let him go, and we'll wrap up Wholesale Hotline. Later, brother.
Hey, Steve.
Later.
You got to love that man.
Yep. He's the best.
So what would be some good action steps for a brand new beginner around driving for dollars that we could check in everybody next week? No competition, just
200
houses.
Okay, 200 houses.
And decide, are you going to go to the door or are you going to pick up the phone? That's it. That's it. So I highly suggest that you just get the phone numbers and you call them from the comfort of your house, especially if you're in a cold market, like literally temperature cold, and pick up the phone. And I want to hear some people having deals, having some leads, at least leads, hopefully maybe some opportunities, and share them here and pump everybody up, inspire everybody. This isn't rocket science. Ugly houses, get the phone number, call them up, ask them if they consider an offer. Life changes. That's it. Life completely changes.
Here's what I want you guys to do. Kelly Hanno, who runs Wholesale Hotline, who knows who Kelly Hanno is? Throw your hand up if you know who Kelly Hanno is, guys. Kelly Hanno is who I want you guys to reach out to. I want to bring on the guest I want to bring on a guest who can verify they drove for dollars their first time and did 200 houses between this Monday and next Monday. We want to bring a couple of guests on. I want you guys to reach out to Kelly Hanno on Instagram. Just DM her. And through using BatchDriven or any other app that you guys are using, I want you to screenshot her once you guys get the 200 houses done, and she will bring you on as a guest on Wholesale Hotline. Because I think incrementally showing people step one, go drive for dollars. Step two, we'll talk about next week. But step one, Brent already said it. It's 200 freaking houses this week. Between Monday and next Monday, we got to get 200 houses. If you guys can verify with Kelly Hanno through Instagram DMs, we will bring you on next week on Wholesale Hotline. We want to hear about your journey, what you loved, what you didn't love, questions you have, etc. And we're going to start talking about implementation for the next steps. You guys like that idea?
Love it. I love it.
Brent.
Yep.
I'm excited to hang out with you on a beach, bruh.
Hey, we leave Wednesday. Here we go.
I'm bringing my beach body.
I can't bring this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway.
I think you should ship it to yourself.
Hey, don't worry. I'll eat enough tacos. I'll make my own.
Hey. We need to get sound effects. Kelly, come on. Hook us up.
Actually, I just hooked up Jamil's soundboard. I'll add a couple of sound effects to it.
Yeah, please. I want a drum machine. I'm Dre.
Final thoughts, gentlemen.
Guys, well, I'll start and we'll go to you, Pace. Cool. I think today you have been given a very, very prescriptive approach to approaching this business in a very easy to digest way. This doesn't need to become rocket science. This can be putting up one step in front of the other, or as Pace like to recall, crawling 1 centimeter and then following that up and following that up and following that up. Crawl in the right direction. That's it. You don't need to be on the moon. You don't need to be running Keighley. You don't need to be the creative finance genius. You don't need to have the TTP army. You can do this on your own, by yourself, driving for dollars, but you can also squat up with others. This is such an easy way to get started, to get your feet wet in this business. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes you deciding that you're going to do it and then taking action.
I second that. I'm excited to see how many people. So guys, as Brent is taking us home tonight on Wholesale Hotline, I want everybody to say in the comments, I've already seen 20 or 30 people, but we have 400 people watching live. Tell me who's going to drive for dollars this week. 200. I want to have a deep conversation about one topic next week. We talked about today, driving for dollars, 200 houses. Next week, we're going to have a whole nother set of tasks for you guys to do. I want to see people in the comments. Who's going to do this challenge with each other? Who's going to do it? And that's all I have to say. I look forward to
Right.
seeing how many people are going to do it. I look forward to seeing how many freaking screenshots Kelly Hanno gets blown up with.
Put 200 in the comments right now if you plan to do it.
Love it.
200
Brent
in the
Daniels.
comments. Remember, guys, they are named doubt, distraction, disappointment. Those 3 Ds, do not let them affect your business. Do not let them affect your productivity. Do not let them affect the value that you bring to your community and your marketplace. And Teddy Roosevelt originally said it, but I think Jamil said it way better. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. What are you going to do this week? Are you going to get those 200 addresses? Are you going to get their phone numbers? Are you going to start reaching out to them and using your skills, your ability, your voice to start something exciting in your life and get your first deal going? That is the challenge. That's what this show's been about. 50 times we've done this show. I'm so excited to do 500 more with A&E's top fix and flip model / influencers / real estate moguls. So it's just keeps getting better and better. We love you guys so much, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Till next week. See you guys.
Yeah, everybody have a great night. We will see you next week. 200 driving for houses. Please DM Kelly Hanno at on her Instagram handle. If you guys don't know it, then what is it? At Kelly Hanno.
Right here. It's on here, right? It's right there. At Kelly Hanno on IG.
At Kelly Hanno. That's KELLIEHANNO. Kelly Hanno on IG. We look forward to hanging out with you guys next week. See you later, guys.